Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the 4-Digit World Cup. We enter ourselves into the group stage here. Group stage B for what is an interesting group. That's what it's turning out to be. We've got top seeds who are not in the positions that they'd necessarily want to be, and some of those lower seeded teams making a bit more of an impact. My name is Amash, and joining me for this group stage B match is gonna be Mavasic. How are you doing, sir?
Hello there, doing pretty well here. As you said, we are looking at a pretty interesting match seeding-wise, incredibly close between Spain and Brazil, seed 18 against seed 21. But looking at overall performance of Spain in this group stage, it's not looking too well for them, coming up with 2 lost matches now. This is their last chance to get a win, and that might still not be enough to get them that upper bracket. They will still continue, most likely in the lower bracket, and now they will decide their fate. Either they seed 3rd or potentially 4th against Brazil, who did have a pretty strong performance in their first match and are looking to replicate that. Now, as we get into the bans and picks, Spain banning DT3 instantly, squabble up.
Yeah, getting rid of that squabble up. Not really a surprise. You know, especially with some of the bans that we've seen, it's been very much Spain wanting to ban into that quite strongly. They banned that against, I believe it was Thailand that they removed that pick. So, all things considered, not really a surprise to see it gone here as well. And Brazil leading into those Nomad 1 and Hidden 2 bans.
Nomad 1 would make sense solely based off qualifiers and Team Spain getting number 2 on the Nomad 1 overall. Hidden 2 banning into the gimmicky hidden map that might be more of a comfort ban, which does make sense as well that Hidden 2 is pretty difficult, and we see HR3 banned from Spain being their last ban and being the last ban of this match. With HR3, we have seen that ban before from Spain, so it does make sense to ban it again if they are not so comfortable on it. With that said, that's the bans, and now I believe Brazil is gonna be the first one to pick. And looking at the statistics from previous matches and qualifiers, this will be an interesting choice. They did pretty well on free mods, outperformed Spain on every single run on the free mod they had. So that could be the way. Both free mod 1 and free mod 2, they had stronger. But there are some other options.
Yeah, I definitely think though that free mod 1 particularly has been picked pretty much against Spain every single time. You had France pick it first against them. You had, Thailand actually picked free mod 2, but again, it was another free mod. But Brazil also kicked off with a free mod 2 as well. So it's definitely something that I think they're quite confident to go into, especially against other seeded teams. And with Spain being a somewhat lower seeded team, I don't think they're as worried about trying to play around strengths or weaknesses. I think they're just going to very much try and brute force some of those early round picks. And yeah, I definitely think that free mod 1 is, if not free mod 2 perhaps as well, because they have played that quite a bit as well. Might be a good place for them to start, especially with Spain being a bit limited on diverse roster options.
Definitely the case here. Outside of that, they still have some interesting options. Maybe opting into that Hidden 3. They did pretty well on 3 million total team score compared to Spain's 2.4 million. But they will opt for Nomad 3. Interesting choice there. We have seen Spain ban that against one team and then lose it on against the other, and that is a smart pick coming from Team Brazil. We did not see Team Brazil play this Nomad 3 before, so cannot really go off match stats just yet. In qualifiers, the normal 3 was pretty close, around 200k score difference, so interesting choice as their first pick, actually.
Yeah, definitely a bit unconventional. It's not really something I think we've got a lot of info on them particularly playing, but that is, I think, true for both sides, really. We don't really have a lot of information on what they'd like to play. We know, actually, in fact, that Spain banned it against France. It was their second ban choice. So that's probably a little bit of where this pick comes from. They weren't super confident on it against France, who are now top of their group. And so Brazil are here to maybe try and inflict a bit of pain on this already damaged Spanish roster on their 0-2. And like you said, it is very much still all to play for in this group. If Brazil don't have the run that they're looking for in their next 2 matches, they could end up in a very similar situation to Thailand, and Spain only need that 1 victory, so what better place than to get it right here to keep that opportunity to go into the upper bracket in the round of 16. Don't want to start off the bracket stage in the lower bracket if you can avoid it. So very much a great opportunity for them. Especially on a massive breakpoint like this. This is really what you want. If you can get a breakpoint here, put Brazil on the back foot to start us off, and we are in for a very unique matchup, but we'll see how the cards are going to lie on this one as we are about ready to kick things off here, Mavzik.
Yeah, I believe so. Seeing the rosters now, it would make sense to see Escape and Unamat in, as we do Dekori and Borger joining them. Escape, Unamat and Dekori probably being the core 3 on this normal 3. Juichi, Madsen, Osu, Toybreak and Kawa. For Brazil, also a pretty strong roster, a pretty strong core we have seen for Brazil in multiple maps they have played. So these do make sense, and we are just waiting for players to ready up and kick off this first map of this group stage match, which will be the normal 3. And I don't think we mentioned it yet, but this normal 3 actually being a custom map by who I believe is iMosca. So thanks a lot for this custom map. It is gonna be your somewhat of a standard normal 3 with a lot of snap ult, with 2 pretty goofy, let's say, rhythm patterns, one at the beginning of the map, one near the middle of the map. So those could drop some accuracy, could draw some misses. We are still waiting for the map to start up. I believe we have some Bancho issues, unfortunately, which is limiting what we see a little bit, but hopefully we can get it up soon. Map is not too long, 2 minutes 38 seconds, so we are hoping for a quick recovery from the tech issues and hoping to see the map as soon as possible, as the players are definitely playing the map already. Around, I would say, 1 minute in would be about correct, maybe more like 2 minutes in now. So most of the map played already.
Yeah, still trying to get on top of these tech issues that we got, but we should hopefully get them sorted for you relatively soon. Because that map update has caused some issues.
Well,
We
the map
just
has
catch the tail end.
concluded, but I think that's the breakpoint Spain was looking for here. Piebald 88k was close. Those graphs look very interesting, I must say.
Yeah, that looks more like a bench issue than anything. But you can take some information away from this. Very good accuracies across both Escarillo and Decore for Spain there. Definitely the sort of anchors for that team. But other than that, very closely contested scores. You've got Kaua for Brazil, who had very nice combo on the tail end of the map. But yeah, outside of that, we didn't get to see as much as you guys did, so we're in that boat, unfortunately. But it is a first point on the board for Spain in a breakpoint position. Great start, really, to be in just a best-of-9 format. Not many opportunities for Brazil to counteract. So now they can settle themselves into something that they are very much going to be more comfortable on. And a map that has... Well, the mod pool for them that's had a bit of mixed success in the group stage has been some of these DT maps. DT1, or more importantly, DT2 is a map that Brazil have gone into Thailand to and lost. So potentially a very strong opportunity for them if they can get a team score high enough to outpace this Brazilian roster. And it is a map that they've picked into before, so there is some confidence behind it, but whether that's where they're going to start with, only time will tell.
Yeah, as you mentioned, on paper that DT2 does look pretty good for Spain. In both of their runs, they have outperformed the score that Brazil put on their DT2 run, so would make sense. DT1 could also be a decent choice with their 3.2 million team score on it. But they will opt for normal 5, and this map is not picked often, so we don't have much data on it. We have seen Brazil ban this, and we have seen the Hidden 2 ban coming in from Brazil, so the gimmicky pick could be the option here for Spain. The question is though how comfortably they can play this and how well they can outscore Brazil, if they can outscore Brazil on this.
Yeah, get a map that makes a lot of sense because, you know, you saw that ban come out from Brazil on the Hidden 2. You know, it's very much a similar style of map. You know, very dense overlapping patterns. It's, you know, it's very much a PES style map. And I think it is a version made by Gordon a few years ago. But yeah, very unique mapping style on this one, and one that tends to cause players a lot of trouble. You know, your average player not really going to be able to play this sort of thing. Going to be very fixed on the sort of players that are going to come in for this map. A lot of specialists rostered just for this sort of map. And we'll see if Spain can extend that lead of theirs, because they really need to take advantage of that early breakpoint. If they throw it away now, it was all for nothing, really. But a consolidatory point would be fantastic for the Spain mental here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this normal 5, definitely a map that would stand out in this map pool that we see right now with that Hidden 2 ban, one of those gimmicky AR 7.5 map with a lot of rhythm, let's just say, a lot of polies, a lot of burst stacks that could get really tricky with this low AR. And we are seeing some more Banjo issues this time on the player side, so hopefully that gets fixed as soon as possible and we see players ready up and the map starting, hopefully. Looking at the chat, some good lucks there. Ready up in. with that said, I believe we will see yet again as Group B with Unamat on this, with some support from their team, and that's gonna be Borgir with not so sure as we see two Borgir clients. Kawa for the Toy Break and Mistia on Brazil's side. We see the 4-player roster there. And as we start this Nomad 5, Spain kicking it off early with some score lead due to accuracy advantage, but that's not gonna do too much just yet on this 2.5 minute long Nomad 5. So far, I believe 4 FCs against 4 FCs with the score not moving too much, a bit on Brazil's side, but that's going back due to accuracy. We see a miss coming in from Borgir, traded by Kawa. Don't see much happening from the 4th player of Spain, unfortunately. Dario Escarpio still holding on to their FCs though, and Toy Break finding a miss as well, together with Kawa finding another break. So 2 FCs against 2 FCs and something coming from Spain right now. And I believe that something is gonna be a Ferroli. No, that's Brazil player, I'm sorry. The 4th player for...
And that's the risk, you know, you try and field the same player in twice, and you do take that risk. Oh, there it is, Junamat with a big combo as well. As we get into the last third of the map, we can finally paint that picture a little bit better, and it doesn't look good for Brazil here. You've got big combos. I believe 2 FCs, as you mentioned, for Spain on the bottom row, and then Junamat with a very nice supporting combo as well. Not necessarily the accuracy behind it, but the combo is what's holding them through. As finally that combo goes, but so does Dario. And I don't think there's quite enough of an opportunity just yet for Brazil, but another break from Spain on that full combo would shake things up a little bit, but we'll see if it'll happen in these closing moments.
280,000 points in favor of Team Spain, with Escarpio still holding that FC strong with 95%. And it's actually shifting towards Team Spain's side due to accuracy, I believe. Mistia still holding onto the FC as well, but 89% is not doing them any good right now, as the score is just going to the left side of Team Spain, and they will indeed secure their second point, getting that breakpoint down as well, 2-0, and Brazil is starting to get into a bit of an uncomfortable position. S-rank FC from Escarpio of 864,000 points. That's an insane score, but that's somewhat matched by Misty's 700k. That's an impressive one as well. Just unfortunate 3 misses either at the beginning or at the end of the map. I believe that was the end of the map. Overall, though, this was a pretty dominant performance from Spain, and especially Escarpio holding onto that FC. Bandario with 540k also doing quite a bit to help that FC stand out. So that's gonna be the second point for Team Spain. Now Brazil looking to answer with a point of their own, answer with something. As we mentioned before, those 3 mods did look pretty good for them compared to what Spain did on them. So I would not be surprised at all if we see one of those picks, 3 mod 1 or 3 mod 2. Maybe that hidden 3 also, as they did outscore Spain on it indirectly. Outside of that though, maybe we could see some surprise pick yet again from Brazil, but I don't expect anything other than 3 mod 1, 3 mod 2 or a hidden 3 right now.
Yeah, again, you know, you're looking at what is it that Spain have isolated. They don't want to play that Hard Rock 3. They don't want to play that DT3 either. You know, I think those 3 mods are a little bit of a bait and switch, because we're already seeing how good some of their gimmick style players are on that No Mod 5. So I think it's a bit of a risk to fire off some of those 3 mod maps when they've potentially got very good coverage on them. And maybe previous weeks leaning to underperformances on the side of Spain. But for Brazil, a chance here now to get on the board with this hidden 3. They're really looking to rally themselves, get a point on the board, get the wheels turning just a little bit, and it's very much going to be needed as Spain looking the dominant force in these early round picks.
And this hidden tree, at least compared to previous matches, is gonna give them a good shot on that first point. They did outperform Spain in both of their rounds on this, and they did secure the win on this map as well in their own match. So hidden tree makes perfect sense, even though we have seen that that normal tree, even though it was close, was in favor of Team Spain. So it's a question of whether that hidden modification on top of the ulti map will do much favor for them, or if Spain can hold on and pull off some improvement on that hidden tree as well. Will be interesting to see. This hidden tree definitely a bit on the swifter side with 165 BPM, a lot of flowing, a lot of sliders here and there. Require some alternating as well. Will be an interesting map to see get played in this matchup, as we slowly but surely see players joining the lobby. We see Escripueo, Decory for Team Spain, joined by Dario, Kawa, Afrodi, Mistia in the lobby for Team Brazil with Juichi and as well. So that could be the 4 players of Team Brazil, which would match what they did on their previous run. For Spain, we have seen Borger, Escripueo, Decory and Dario on both rounds as well. So let's see if we see the same roster here as well. Yes, no switches on this hidden tree for either. Let's see how this hidden tree resembles, and let's see if Brazil finds that point on the board, finds a breakthrough against this pretty strong looking Spain team, at least right now.
It's trying to find that weakness in their ability, and Afrodi going to be finding that first miss. It doesn't bode well for your second opening pick, really. Still in the early stages of the match, but Borgia going to be finding a trade, so that will slow things down on the Spain advance. But accuracy-wise, they're still looking pretty good, and the stronger side, even if it's only by the smallest of margins, it all helps. But a long way to go. It's only a third the way through this.
It just seems like a question of whoever misses first, whoever drops more accuracy, and we see some act drops coming in from Spain, some from Brazil, but Spain looking into more 100s will give the tiniest lead to Brazil, but now we see a two-way miss from Dario and the Cordy on the Spain side, and the score will skyrocket towards Brazil side with 3F steal. 3 FCs still holding intact now too, with Juichi finding a miss, Mistia with a huge accuracy drop, but will not drop the FC just yet, and Mistia with Kawa can run away with the score now against the Spain team. Kawa finds the miss as well, and it's only Mistia against Escripueo. The supports from Afrodi and Borger are basically the same, and the support from Dario and Decori are actually better for Spain here, so the score will start shifting towards Team Spain. Kawa finding another miss. 40,000 points in favor of Brazil near the end of the map, but it's going down, and it's going down relatively fast in terms of the map. Mistia finds the miss on the FC.
Mistia drops the final combo, the final nail in the coffin for Brazil. They're not going to be able to convert this point. They lose it in the tail end of the map. It slips away. There's some great team scores from both sides, but Escripueo setting another absolute showcase of a score. I think that's nearly back-to-back FCs for Spain, and Brazil still being held down by this Spanish roster. And yeah, look at that accuracy. 99.54, 5 100s on those space streams is very hard to keep consistent. Just a near perfect score. Exactly what you want.
Spain, third point on the board, second break point, looking for their fourth with their own pick here. And it seems like Escripuero especially has entered the flow state and is looking to get the first win for Team Spain here, and they are looking incredibly solid. Brazil definitely not a bad performance on this map either, but for the first time they get outperformed on Spain on it, and it's unfortunately for them the direct one, losing another point of their own, now giving a lot of room to Spain to work with. And they definitely do have options. We have mentioned that double time too before. DT1 could also work for them. Those, I believe, are the maps Spain is currently looking at as well. But you know, there's still a lot open in this map also. We might get surprised by a pick of some other caliber coming from Spain as well.
Again, still waiting. Oh no, we do actually have the Spain pick now. It is the free mod 2. Okay, not really what I was expecting from Spain. I mean, no doubt they've got some strong players and they are in a different form right now, but it still was not the pick I was eyeing up for them. I was eyeing up some of those remaining no-mod maps, the more mechanic focus maps. But again, this is an interesting choice. You know, it's V3, a map that a lot of even older players will be highly familiar with. Again, another short map, but it's one of those classic CS5 AR8 classic old dense style maps, but it's got a bit of, you know, your old classic streams that you don't see anymore, where the spacing is so consistent and yet the aim on them is so, I'm trying to think of the word. I want to say it's almost static in nature, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Linear, that's the word I'm looking for. Very linear aim style.
Yeah, I don't think I have much to add to this outside of this map is peak 2009 mapping we don't see anymore, which is a bit sad. These maps are usually pretty fun, at least in my opinion. But yeah, Spain picking this 3 mod 2, maybe going off that hidden 2 ban and no mod 5 win, which could have given them a lot of confidence. We have seen double easy on this 3 mod 2 from Spain with Escripuero and Aguacatec holding that easy. We have seen easy from Kagiura on the Brazil side with 800k score after the 2x multiplier this easy has, which is a pretty impressive one, I must say. Yeah, the question is, will the supporting mods of HR Hidden and no mod be enough to convert this into potential Brazil breakpoint as they on paper should have compared to looking at the indirect matchup? But as we can see in this match, indirect does not mean anything as Spain is currently on a completely different level they have been than they have been in their previous matches. So will be interesting one to see. Aguacatec, Decor, Unamat and Escripuero in for Team Spain, Juchi, Kagiura, Kawa and Afrodi on Team Brazil. And looking at the mods, nothing changed since their last play this maps. Escripuero, Aguacatec on those easies, as I said, Kagiura on the easy modification as well, together with Afrodi actually. So double easy for Brazil and Spain. Interesting matchup there. HR on Decori and Juchi. Afrodi finding the first miss on the easy, but it's pretty early into the map considering it's 2 minutes 48 seconds, so it's still very early to change anything in the scoreline of this map.
see the early break from Junimat on the Nomad. Not what you want to see from your Nomad player, but there was a trade from Aphrodite on that as well. Another miss coming in. Aphrodite, that's not going to bode well. Spain hold that light lead. You're also finding a break. Things starting to unravel a little bit for this Brazilian roster as the combos start to fluctuate for them. But for Spain, they settle into a much more comfortable rhythm with very good accuracies to boot as well.
Spain with the 3-way FC and one pretty good supporting score from Unamet that does fall, but Kawa does find the trade, and it's only one FC against 3 for Brazil. Against the Spain team, the Cory finds the miss, so it's only easies on Spain holding those full combos, but Giucci trying to fight back with that HR score, but the accuracies on that easy from both Aquacatec and Escapio are pulling the score to Team Spain side, not by much. And actually it is pulling back to Team Brazil side by a little bit due to HR being pretty strong. Aphrodite, Kagura finding those recoveries, but down goes Giucci, and that's tragic. That's tragic for Team Brazil here, as that's the only score that was holding the score lead somewhat stable. Team Spain finds that FC's break though. Escapware, Aquacatec both down. It's only Decory and with Unamat on combos for Team Spain against Aphrodite and Kawa. And Aphrodite with that 500 combo on easy could do something. The question is there enough time? There's not much map left, about 1/8 of the map. Aphrodite finds the miss on that 500 combo, and I believe that's gonna put the final nail to the coffin, as there's no other huge combo for Team Brazil to come back on this map.
Yeah, the scorebar's going to fall a little bit, but there's no way going to be enough unless there's a huge set of chain misses on this, and it just isn't there. And so Spain, once again, defying expectations here, take a 4th point in a row and set themselves up for a very comfortable second half of this matchup as we kind of shift into that from early game to late game now. We've seen what both teams kind of want to pick into. Again, Escapilio with an absolute showcase score right there with 99.66% accuracy, as really stands head and shoulders above the rest of the lobby there. On the easy as well.
Indeed, compared to the previous time Brazil played this map, Kagura did underperform quite a bit by about 400,000 points on that easy, which definitely led into this loss for Brazil. And they have the next pick. They still can shift the match to their hands, but it's gonna be really, really difficult being 4-0 down, needing to win 2 picks of Team Spain, who is just looking not so stoppable right now, really playing very, very comfortably. Escapware absolutely killing this match. And the question is, what is there to pick that could stop them? There's still that 3 mod 1 open, but after this 3 mod 2 we have seen, of course, it is a completely different kind of map. But Brazil's choice is really, really tough here, even though a lot of this map is still open.
Yeah, I think they've got to start eyeing up those maps that, you know, particularly Spain might not be super comfortable on. I'm eyeing up maps like maybe Hard Rock 1. I'd probably lean maybe into Hard Rock 2, but only the reason I'm holding off on that is because typically those sorts of maps tend to be quite reading heavy when it's such a precise circle size. But DT1 is going to be the choice. Again, you can see the logic behind it. You know, you saw the DT3 ban come out from Spain, and I don't trust them on that DT2. I think it's another potentially really strong map for them as well. That, you know, Brazil need to. They're trying to find with this DT1 a map that's got very little resistance from Spain. You know, hopefully it's going to shake up their roster a lot and make them play and field in other players and give, you know, maybe Escofilio a break and put him on the back foot a little bit so they can apply a bit of pressure, but it's still not looking good for Brazil here.
Definitely an interesting choice here with the Spain actually getting around 3.2 million team score when they played this, with Escopio FC of 1.1 million. So considering how well he is playing right now, this is a really interesting pick coming from Brazil, and they might feel really confident on this if they are picking into a pick that went this well for Spain when they played it. But you never know until you see the map. Maybe they can strike us with a 4-way FC. Maybe they are that comfortable on the map and show that they are still in this match and they are still here to fight. It'll be interesting to see the roster from Team Brazil. I believe Spain will not change much if it works. Don't touch it. Esquipuyo, Decori, Unamat and Aguacate last time they played this. Brazil, we don't have much info on it, as they did not play this double time one. It was banned against them. So that could maybe give them a bit of confidence, but so was it against Team Brazil, I mean. So yeah, this DT1 was banned against Brazil, was banned against Spain. Spain did play it, got a really good team score on it. But the question is, can they replicate that? Because 3.2 million, not the easiest score to match, especially with pretty huge scores, especially from Esquipuyo, but then Decor Unamat performed pretty well. With the good lucks in the chat, I believe we will be starting soon Spain with no changes. Giuchi, Matson, Osu, Toybreak and Mistia for Team Brazil. Here we go. Brazil's last hope. If they don't get this point, they will get swept by Spain. That is coming from a really rough start, but looking to fix that really shortly.
So we dive straight into the double time, and Matt finds an early reset. It is not traded. Never mind, there it is. It's a late one though. Not catch, but Mistia also going to be finding a reset. So it's 2-1 really, but early days. And again, the accuracy drops more noticeable on the Spain side. That's why Brazil's still going to hold the lead, but it's not on combo at this stage. But we've got a lot of combo in this match. Judamat going to be finding a reset. So it's starting to look good for Brazil here, especially in the first quarter of the map. They have some wiggle room, especially with another reset there. Again, it's still difficulty for Ogokech. Toybreak does find a reset. As they've still got two big combos there, Brazil. You've got Matsunosu and Yuichi and Mistia coming up on the recovery, but Escofilio is still there with the Decori for Spain and is slowly recovering Judamat. But Ogokech still kind of a bit of a crutch here. Can't really rely on him just yet. Slowing them down. As we approach the last of the map here. Will there be any major combo breaks?
I believe as long as the supporting scores from Misty and Giuchi hold, Team Brazil should be safe here, but just as I say that, Matson Osu finds the miss and that will start shifting score to side Brazil, to side Spain, and Decori Esquipio on those two FCs with Unamat, 700 combo support, that goes down. But it might not be enough. Toybreak goes down. Team Brazil desperately looking for a miss from Esquipio or Decori. Someone needs to go down from Team Spain for Brazil to have a shot on this comeback, and it's slowly but surely starting to look more and more impossible with 200,000 points almost in favor of Team Spain, 170k at the end. Not gonna be enough for Team Brazil to shift it back, and as he did in the first run, Esquipio with the FC on this double time one yet again, improving their 3.2 million team score up to 3.5 million team score. Team Brazil would have had it if that 3.3 was played in this match, but Spain just outperforming themselves on basically everything they played. And they are back in the game, their momentum is back. Even though this was their third match, it will not push them up to that top 2 for that upper bracket. It's definitely gonna give them a lot to work with in the bracket stage later. But that's too soon to tell. It's too soon to tell who they will play against. But for now, Spain, incredibly dominant performance against this not so lower seeded Brazil, who did play incredibly well as well. But Spain just showed that they are a solid team and they can perform. They just did not have the best start here.
Yeah, and again, like you said, all to play for. I mean, you look at the point difference now. With that sweep, Spain have put themselves above Thailand. So Thailand guaranteed now to head to the losers bracket. Oh, sorry, the lower bracket, I should say. But Spain still with the opportunity to make it into the upper bracket side. It's going to come down to that final matchup between France and Brazil. Brazil, if they don't win that match, they will fall below on point difference. So it really is a must-win situation if they want to stay on the upper bracket side. But again, that is a little bit later. Not much later, but a little bit later. 15 minutes or so.
I'm not so sure about that as the next matches occur.
Never mind, it's next week. It's next week. It's next week. You gotta wait a week. A week and 15 minutes. That's all.
That's not too much. That's basically tomorrow, surely. But yeah, that's definitely a match you don't want to miss, because the stakes will be pretty high there, at least for Team Brazil. But with that said, I think that's gonna be it from us, wouldn't it, Demarche?
Yeah, it will be. I believe there's a couple of matches later on tonight. Or maybe I'm mistaken. No, they're all next week. No, I think that's it. We are wrapped up here. We are done and dusted for the evening.
Yeah. With that said, thanks to our sponsors. You can see them on the bottom side of the screen. Slider Cars, Yobimo. This was 4WC2026. And yeah, see you next week. Stay safe for now. And have a nice rest of your evening, whatever it is. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.